What's the quintessence of this exhibition here at the Fondation Beyeler?
Well, that's a big question. I was just recently observing that this has been an opportunity for me to see myself in the round, 360 degrees, because the nature of the architecture and the curatorial allowed me to draw together a body of work that really is one of the most fully rounded presentations I've made to date. So that is an aspect of this installation that I didn't expect, and I'm walking away with it, having completed it, and it's a new experience for me. So,
what is the new experience exactly?
Seeing the work. As you may know, I work in many different idioms. Some bodies of work are strongly visual, and others are not. Others are strongly conceptual. So, and I'm moving around this way. So there really isn't much visual consistency from one body of work to another, right? So what you really need is enough work from all of your activities to really have not an accurate, but a real sense of what I do, you know. And this is the 360 degrees. You have all aspects, the highly visual work like the drawings, or what I think of as highly conceptual work like the rose problem, or still water, which is photographic, the rose problem, 48 watercolor installation, which is one work, AKA, which is obviously a kind of a play on identity, as is the rose problem. They're very similar works, but completely different manifestations. And finally, you have this work from which I also considered conceptual, but also is highly visual, is the water doubles, the sculptures. So, and you see the relationship from work to work, and then as a whole. And this is what has been a kind of a first for me.
So has it also been a personal journey putting this exhibition together?
I don't know. I don't. It's all personal. It's my work. So you know. But it's installations for me are about education. When I get involved in an installation, it's because I have the potential to expand my language. You know. So in other words, if I'm doing a show where I have new opportunities, architecturally, circumstantially, there are many things that affect the potential of a show, right? Then I'm more or less involved. You know, if it's kind of a standard gallery show, it's not always really. You know, I've actually tried to reduce the number of gallery shows over the years because they don't really engage me strongly enough, so I don't want to spend my time that way. So when I here at the Beyeler, you know, you may not realize, but some of the work I'm drawing on work that's maybe 10 to 15 years old. But it's not a retrospective. It's most of the work is never been seen before. The water devils, selected gifts, the rose. These are all new works. So being able to take a little bit of this from menu A and menu B, and now we have a menu C, and kind of get that kind of fusion cuisine going, really, is how I feel it. But you know, there's an audience that only knows the drawings in my case, or an audience that only knows the photography or the sculpture. You see, but I've always worked with all of those things, right? So from the inside out, this is an opportunity to have it all synthesized, and also for the audience. So,
have you, through putting these works together, they also become a different relationship? Have you started looking at specific works differently now?
Absolutely, absolutely. These things, you know, this is the nature of identity. Things change based on, certainly in circumstance, psychological circumstance, or proximity to things. Meanings shift all the time. So, Yeah. And as you know, history is definitely, very susceptible to fiction. So,
What do you see? What do you think is the relationship between identity and representation?
oh yes. It's not a very specific question. What do you mean by representation?
Especially in your early work, like the AKAs, with the photography, where you work a lot with portraits. Isn't that also play with a self-identity, self-representation?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me correct you on one thing. There seems to be a feeling that I do a lot of self-portraits. AKA is not a self-portrait. AKA is a portrait of a person as if. In other words, there's no necessary relationship with me and that representation. I am, for instance, or an example of. If you know it's me, as Roni Horn, okay, I'm not sure that it really adds much to it, but most people don't know it's me. They don't know what I look like, so they don't know it's me. So they take it as, and the common reading of it has been that it's many people. That's the feedback that's come back, and that's sort of the way I structured it. So, and I think that reality of identity, that populace in the individual, is true of all of us, differing degrees. I know if I'm standing and talking to Theo, it's one energy. And if I'm standing and talking to Sam, it's another energy. And it is identity that's shifting, really. So you can, I don't know, little things like play with words the way I love to play with language, because Sam is so fluent, and Theo and I more like there's more physicality to it, and more physical, the kind of eye contact, and we communicate more that way. And these things shift your way of expressing yourself, your way of appearing, everything. And isn't that identity? So that's it.
What does it mean for you to show here at the Fondation Beyeler?
I love the building. I love this Renzo piano building. It is so generous, especially for my work. The daylight and the rooms are all really probably one of the best contexts I've had the opportunity to show in. So from that point of view, it's been a dream. And I also the curatorial and the whole shtick here is really quite appealing to me. So it's been 100%. Yeah. So.